Hello!
What's up, everyone? We'll give you guys a couple moments to hop on here.
Let's see, I gotta share this.
I'm gonna share it. Oh yeah, I didn't bring my computer.
I was like, your computer's not here. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'll let you do it this time.
Okay. I think I can share it to the group.
Yeah.
You can share it to my page.
You are
okay.
the admin.
Share to a group. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. I'm in so many groups.
You can search it.
Okay.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, okay.
Boom,
okay.
look at that.
There's that, and then I gotta share to go away to my page. To my page. Okay. Okay.
Are we
good? Okay. Now
share it in all the places.
All the places. Okay.
All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 28 of the AWAKEN Vlogcast. Today we're talking about Akashic Records.
Yes.
I know. 28. That's pretty crazy.
It is.
Every time we get further, I'm just like, wow, it was awesome.
We're almost at 30 to celebrate.
Yeah.
Like 30 or something. I don't know.
We'll do something.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay,
Hi.
so we're just going to talk, I mean, like we normally do. We're just going to share a little bit of facts and knowledge with you. And for those who are joining for the first time, I mean, we have our, original followers or people that follow all these. If this is your first time joining us, this is an interactive vlogcast, so we interact with you as you're viewing. So if you have questions or comments, concerns, whatever, see, she said it too. We didn't plan this, I know. Yeah. So drop them in the comments, and we respond real time because this is an open dialogue conversation. Yeah. We are conversating with you, not at you.
Yes.
That's how we spread these things. And feel free to also share this live with anybody that you might want to see this or on your timeline to get more people involved in the conversation, because that's what we're here to do.
Talk about things that other people don't talk about. Yeah. And yes, Lorraine, we are both green. I got the green hat.
Yes, I know.
I got some green on my shirt, and then you got the green.
Yeah.
Hoodie.
We actually were just discussing that right before we went live.
I know.
So that was really interesting. That
Synchronicity.
Of all people, she said that. I'm just saying, she's on her way.
I know.
For sure.
We're like, man, we're on it. So, gosh, should we get started?
Yeah. All right. So welcome, guys.
Records.
We're talking about Akashic Records, and for those of you who have no idea what that is, we're about to explain it.
Okay.
So
we didn't at one point.
Yeah.
I feel like you've always known it. I know you haven't.
No. I have not.
I'm new. I'm new to Akashic Records.
I'm still learning. Guys, you have to realize the best learners will always learn. The best teachers will always learn. Like, you'll never stop. There's too much knowledge out there for you to ever be like, oh yeah, I know everything.
Right.
So like, I'm still learning more about Akashic Records. I'm still learning more and more about astrology, things like that. Like,
there's a lot to learn with astrology. Like, I see things, I'm like, oh my god, that's like a whole language. Like reading the charts and stuff. We'll have to do one on that. Yeah. Just because then I'll kind of be forced to learn more about it.
That's
to
true.
Be able to
that's how I got into doing that too, was for myself.
Yeah.
Lorraine said dialed in.
Sweet.
She said I have access assessed on a few people. Wowza. Oh, are you talking about astrology, Lorraine? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about Akashic Records? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to talk. Do you want me to do my notes first?
You can. And I actually took some notes today. I never take notes.
I always take notes.
I know.
You guys already know this.
I never do, so that's a big deal for me. But my writing is like garbage, crap handwriting. Of course, Ashton will yell at me for being negative.
Like my handwriting, actually.
No, yours is so much better.
No, that's because I wrote very slowly to be able to do that. So
okay, well, I wrote really fast.
Oh, she said... Oh, Jeremy
Akashic,
said, hello, family. Hi, Jeremy. And then she said Akashic. Interesting, Lorraine. I want to hear more about this, so feel free to share it throughout this live.
Definitely.
Because I've only had one Akashic record reading, and that was back in October. This is the first time I had it, so
I have never had one. I'm worried I'll fall asleep, because anytime I've done anything where you have to like lay down and meditate, I end up falling asleep. Unless I have someone there to like nudge me awake to put me back in the in-between
because
space.
You've done that during our Reiki sessions.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. That just means you're getting relaxed enough.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk about my notes first.
Yeah, we'll go.
All right, so what are the Akashic Records? So they're basically like a massive library of information of all human events, thoughts, words, emotions, intentions ever to have occurred in the past, present, or future, ever. So
it's like
wrap your mind around that. Like, and that's also because time is not linear. Like we
experience it linear, but it's not. Which is an insanely weird concept to think about. If you've seen Interstellar, like that's a good way to like think about. Or
that's one of my favorites.
They visualize that really
Yes.
Really amazing. So watch Interstellar if you kind of want to understand that time isn't linear and what it might look like when it's all just
when they go
together in like
black
a ball.
hole.
Yeah.
So when that came out, I was so stoked when that came out in theaters because like this is gonna wake so many people up. It was pretty exciting. Yeah. So they're believed Akashic Records. You say this word.
Oh,
because I can't say it.
Theology?
No.
Oh,
Yep.
Well, now you're making me think of it. So like theophysicist.
Yes. Okay. I was having a very hard time saying that earlier, so I'm just gonna let her say it. I was like having a speech impediment with it. Anyway, it's to be encoded in a non-physical plane of existence known as the etheric plane. Yes. So when we talk about meditation and things like that, that's usually what people are tapping into, or those types of things, higher dimensions, other things like that. Or like when people astral travel or astral project, things like that, that's what they're doing. It was popularized, the Akashic Records. There's been several mystics and things like that have talked about it, but one in particular was a clairvoyant that most of you may have heard of actually, was Edgar Cayce. He lived from 1877 and he died in 1945, and he did these types of readings, Akashic Record readings, through his soul readings is what he called them. But basically that's what he was doing, was tapping into people's Akashic Records. So what's cool about that, Akashic, is it actually means, like we said, higher dimension. So you're just tapping into something greater or higher vibrating than you are, which we do a lot. Like dream state, that's what you're doing. You're tapping into the higher realms and things like that. So people astral travel.
I always wondered, you're like, we spend so much of our life sleeping. And it seems like kind of pointless, but I know, like, to rest your body, you have to do it. But there's really so much that goes on that you're just really not aware of when you become conscious, because all these things are happening like while you're asleep. So it's really, really interesting to think about, like, all these things that are happening, and maybe you're astral projecting somewhere and going to other dimensions and
or other timelines.
Oh yeah, I think of like Avatar, the movie Avatar.
I love that movie.
So I'm like, well, maybe we're going to like another body on another planet or something. So there's so much that happens.
Well, and that's why a lot of the like scientists and things like that have talked about what really happens when we die. There's this big debate. There's actually I cannot remember her name. There was a scientist that was an atheist, and she had NDE. So she died and she came back, and then she experienced that, and then like it literally flipped her world to where now she's like, no, that's not what happens. And she was trying to put the science behind what actually happens when we die, because this is just a vessel. Right. Energy is energy, and once it's created, never ceases to exist. It just transmutes form. So when we get rid of this, I know you hate it, but this meat suit.
I hate meat suit. Oh god.
We just transmute form. So it would make sense that if we're doing that while we're sleeping, why wouldn't we do that when we pass away? Just skip to another dimension or whatever.
It's just a
a
vehicle.
Sorry.
I was like, I have mine.
Oh, can you read it? Yeah, let's do that, because mine's too far away.
Right.
Can't read what
so Lorraine says, the first time I came across was one of my first Reiki sessions performed on someone I didn't know, a new client. I vividly saw this person's moments' lives flash before my eyes and stopped mid-show on a point in time that I felt drawn to share. I must have hit a nerve, as this person never came back, and her husband paid me a visit. Turns out he was a Reiki master and was curious about my ability to find and access these previous records. Dang.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
So we're going to talk about that too.
You're so magical, Lorraine. Oh my gosh.
We need to get you on here.
For
ASAP.
real.
We have already talked about it. We just need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Lucky says, I'm mildly obsessed with NDE stories.
Aren't they cool?
There's so many. It's very interesting, too, because they're all so similar.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are the odds that all these people have similar experiences?
I'm fascinated by the ones where, it's kind of sad, but where like a kid is born into a new life and they can remember their old life and they can like go find where their body was buried and like their old family
or who murdered them or all sorts of things. And then a lot of them are born with birthmarks from where they died in the
where
past.
They had like a wound or something. Yeah, those are.
It's pretty trippy. There's a lot of stuff out there, so we just go down that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
So I said Akashic means, higher dimensions, things like that. And then it's also a Sanskrit word for sky or space. So just think of beyond. The heavens, whatever, the universe. It can be used as a resource whenever you want answers. So kind of what she was saying when she was reading Lorraine's comments about that Reiki master, going to visit. How'd you tap into this? Actually, we all have the ability to do this. And so I'm going to tell you some different ways to do it. Like, you're not like this special gifted person that can do this. Like, literally everybody can do it. It's just a matter of practicing, and like with everything else. Yeah. So ways to access it, you can do it through music. So certain types of music, or meditation. And again, meditation there's so much more to it than just the calm state like people think. There is so much when it comes to meditation.
Yeah.
Things you can tap into, the guidance you can get, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Or you can just have a reading with somebody that already does that. Like I said, I had a reading in October. So those are different ways you can access if you are curious about your Akashic Records. I would just say, as always, a little disclaimer that I do, no matter what you do, whether it's energy work or whatever, make sure you check out who you're having a reading or a session with.
Yes.
Because
not everyone has good intentions.
Yes. So, and I'm not even saying getting in your head about it. I want you to feel about it. Like, you can tell a lot about a person, you know.
It's those gut instincts.
Yeah, by their energy they give off. So just be aware of that before. And I only say that because when someone goes into your Akashic Records, they have access to everything.
Yeah.
And
you're kind of like opening your energetic field in a way.
You're literally opening your soul.
Yeah.
Like,
so, yeah, you want to make sure there's no, like, people with
dirties in there.
Negative intentions.
So the other thing about that is the Akashic Records have infinite possibilities or outcomes. And so it's very similar, I would say, to like quantum mechanics about there being parallel universes, and there's infinite parallel universes, like forever. They go on forever. And it could be the slightest little change and it just keeps going. Like
infinity is so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Jennifer wants you to tell us about your experience. If you're comfortable with it, of course.
Okay. Sure, I'm open. You ask, I'll tell.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, for me, the way my reading was done, so she just, first of all, they have to have your permission to do this. They cannot just access it without your permission.
Now, this was not in person. This was over as Skype or something?
No. Right? So, this was something I set up, not in person. She did the meditation to connect and everything with me, but she had to get my permission first. And then when we talked after, phone call, going through everything, explaining the actual reading, what she saw, things like that. And then if I had questions, she was tapping back into my records.
Cool.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a very long, I'll just break it down, but the phone call explaining everything was probably like 45 minutes of just going over different things. I found out that I'm on my 72nd lifetime.
On Earth?
Yes. Or just in general.
In general, okay.
Yes, and I am not from here, which I already knew that.
Right.
So
we know it or not from here.
What else? Yeah. I have lots of guides, which I knew that also, because when I do Reiki and things like that, I can sense when they're around me.
Did she say like what kind of guides? Like, are they are they star people or
I didn't ask those questions.
Energies? Okay.
A lot of times when I'm having stuff like that, I'm open to receiving whatever. Like, I have a couple of questions, and then I'm open to receiving whatever information is coming through, because I don't want to put too much expectations or whatever on it, because I want whatever's flowing in the channel to go.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't want to muddle it up with my head stuff.
See, that's what I do about. Okay, so details.
So I need to know details.
What's their name? What color are they? Like, are they made of leaves?
Yeah. Okay.
I know.
Well,
anyway,
that's fair. What else? She was telling me about I have these certain orb lights. What does she call them? They're very protective.
Orbeez? You call them Orbeez?
Basically, and you have to get 30 white lights to equal 1 blue light, and I had I had 60 white lights, so I had 2 blue lights around me, and I can't remember what they're called. So you would ask that. I'll tell you later.
Lorraine might know.
Yeah,
Lorraine might know. The little.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lorraine? If you've done that, they're like little orbs. I cannot remember what they're called.
They're little energy.
Yes.
Orbs.
They're like protection.
Okay. So like okay.
Okay. I can't remember what they're called though. But it was pretty awesome. I mean, there was more details than that, but I'm not going to share obviously all the details of things that I went to, because it's a little personal. Yeah. This is my soul record.
Right.
But yeah, I got a lot of confirmation, which I've had other readings and things like that done. Sprites, like the drink, like.
I've heard of sprites, like little fairy things called.
That would make
sense. Sprite.
Oh, never heard.
I think of like little energetic fairies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was confirmation of just different things that I already thought, and then I'm already obviously on my life path, which I knew that. What I'm supposed to be doing now to help the collective, to help.
Yeah, you are
energetically, consciousness, and what else? That's all I got at the top of my head. Like,
so was there anything like, oh my gosh, like life-changing, or just more like confirmation of things you already knew?
It was more confirmation.
Okay.
Oh, the other thing what we were talking about was vibrations. We were talking about the different dimensions of vibrations. And I was literally, like the next level up is like 6th dimension or something, something, Lorraine probably knows what the hell I'm talking about because you're one of the ones with knowledge, but I'm like at 5.9, so I'm literally like 0.1 away from right there. So that's the work and things like that I've done, the lessons that I've learned, you know, the knowledge that I've shared, things like that. Yeah. So it was very interesting. It was pretty cool.
Is that kind of...
There was more to it than that, but you put me on the spot, and that's like all I can tell you right now, because
Well, I'm interviewing you for this one, so I'm just kidding. When we did, at Transcend, we did that past life regression. That's not the same as Akashic Records.
No.
Okay, that's different. Okay.
But that was pretty awesome, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, so
we have lots of comments,
geez,
so...
I dropped my phone. Oh,
we'll get to your comments one second.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to scroll back, because... okay, that was her first one. Okay, here we go. So Lorraine says, the second time was like watching a video. My friend, whom I realized we share a birthday and a birth time. Oh, birth time? And a birth... Dang, that's cool.
What are the odds of that?
I know, that's like... I share birthdays, so that's what, but a birth time?
Yeah.
Wow. She had not ever been attuned, so she briefly studied, went through the motions for learning Reiki in a student setting. The trippy thing with what I saw was showing her in like a toy train giving her best parade wave as she was traveling through the universe. Oh my God, that's awesome. What we learned ultimately is that she sits on the Council of Kings of the universe. Dang.
That's pretty cool.
She is very powerful in her 3D state, and it was my honor to lead her to and into a master status. Since being attuned, she is performing daily with amazing success for her clients. Well, she's so cool. On the Council of Kings of the Universe. That's pretty awesome. Pretty exciting. Okay, and then Lorraine says, the Akashic Records, everything that happens to your soul, every booger, every orgasm, every hurt, every success, every failure, every single breath is recorded, and there is access with the best, purest heart and intention. That's cool.
And then Kim said, so is it my same soul coming back multiple times?
Yes. That's a good question. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I was saying earlier. Like I'm on my, what did I say, 72nd lifetime.
Yeah.
And then we collect all the knowledge that we're learning. So basically think of Earth as like, it's a school. That's really what it is. We're here to learn life lessons.
We're here to school sometimes.
I know, but we are consciousness experiencing itself. And in order to do that, we have to learn. And so we have to go through stuff and shit and all the things, good and bad. Retain that knowledge, that lesson to...
Yeah. You can't learn if you're not challenged.
Yep. We have to have contrast.
Yeah. And we talk about that a lot because a lot of people, like even with my kids and even like through our awakening journey, which we've talked about before, it's like we are a soul. We're not this body. This soul can go into other bodies, not on just planet Earth.
Yeah. Literally.
I mean, the infinite vastness of the universe. There's so many other planets, so many other life forms.
If you guys have never even seen a picture of the actual universe, like just to give you a grand idea of like how tiny we actually are. If you think we're the only ones, you're about to be mind blown. Right. If you really think that.
Because there's just no way that this is it. This one
Especially humans in general. I'm just saying, some humans, just like, we're like the toddlers, I feel like, of the universe for the most part.
I know. We're very... We think we're advanced, we're like not advanced at all. So yeah, our soul just goes on adventures. Yep. I mean, if this is not the... And that's why death... people don't like to talk about death. Death is very... It's very sad and obviously...
It's supposed to be feared.
Right. It's supposed to be fearful. And of course you can be sad when you lose somebody. But I've started shifting my perspective that when someone dies, they're just going on another adventure. Their soul is free from... honestly, a lot of people are in pain on this planet, so they're free from that pain.
Energetic, dense planet.
Yeah, it's very heavy. Yeah, and so they're free to go on to their next adventure or their next life, whether it be another human on Earth, or maybe a flower on Earth, or maybe an animal. Maybe another planet or an animal. So there's so much more. Our soul is so old. I mean, billions of years, infinity years old. We're just keep having lifetimes and learning and
because the universe is ever expanding and we are just extensions of the universe. So it would make sense that we are just continuous forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. And let's see. Jennifer says, I will talk about death all day. And that's good. I know she's talked about being a death doula, which I had only heard about that once before I heard it from Jennifer. And it made a lot of sense, because there's doulas when you come into the world, like birth doulas. But shouldn't there be death doulas, like kind of sending you off into your next life? Well, like someone to, I don't know. It seems really peaceful, even though I'm sure a lot of people would think, oh, that's weird. But you know us, nothing's weird for us.
Yeah, what is weird, really?
Right.
So when it's interesting that Lucky said that about the death doula thing too, because I feel like I've been that person, and I know a couple of people that are that way, that have been around death a lot. I've specifically worked with hospice patients, or friends or family who are dying of different illnesses and things like that. Actually even helps with an aunt that literally died and came back. It was like a crazy thing. Wow. I've got Reiki stories all day, guys. Yeah. But that's what I was using. I was using Reiki to do that. To either help them with the transition, or to help them if they were still wanting to fight, to give them the energy to do so, to be able to beat it. And I've also got those crazy, incredible stories where people who shouldn't even be alive today are alive and disease-free and living life. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Don't let the system tell you how to be. Just
I would tell you one thing is mindset has to do with a lot. And I'm not saying, I'm still realistic. We are in human form, and this body can only last so long. But I will also tell you that when people say, age is just a number, it is, because mindset is everything. I know older people, like 80s, 90s, who act like children, who are as healthy as can be. And then I know younger people who are just really negative or whatever, and they act like old people as far as like illnesses, diseases, pains, and things like that. Like, it's true. I think it's very interesting, actually.
It is really interesting just to see people's different mindsets on things. And
well, even when you get diagnosed with an illness or disease, you are not that thing. You are not the thing. You're not your diagnosis. You are still yourself, and that's just an opinion of someone. So you don't actually have to take that on. But what happens is a lot of people, when they get diagnosed with something, they take that on as their identity. And then when that happens, they can't separate themselves from it. Yeah. So what does that mean? That means that thing is going to be the thing that ends them, because they can no longer see their life without this thing in it. So that's why it's important not to take things on when you find things out. Use discernment to know, okay, well, this is their opinion, but this is how I'm going to respond. This is how my body's going to respond.
Right. We can do amazing things when we set our mind
to
it.
I'm telling
you. I'm not saying don't listen to your doctor, Morgan. Be careful of your words. But just don't give someone that much power over your future.
Because you hold more power than anybody.
Yes.
And I will tell you, because I've seen quote-unquote miracles happen all the time. From people, like I said, who are not even supposed to be here right now. So, anyway, I don't know why I went on a tangent about that, but it's a real thing.
That's just what we do. Yeah. Let's see here. Do you want to read the comments there, or do you want to read them here?
Let's read them on your phone,
because they're closer.
And I do see Kim's. I'm going to read hers real quick. It's the last one. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about that in the diagnosis. Yes. Yeah. Dr. Dispenza. We talk about him a lot. He's one of my favorite. Definitely a mentor. And then we also talk about epigenetics. We talk about, what's his name? Dr. Bradley Nelson. And what's the other one? I always forget. Oh, gosh. Basically, it's how your thoughts turn on and off certain gene markers for diseases and illnesses. Like, it's not just woo. Like, there's actually science behind your thoughts, your energy. Thoughts are energy, and your body is mostly water. And, the vibration you hold, it affects your body by the thoughts that you're having. So that's why it turns certain things on or off. Okay. Yeah. Now we can read it.
Okay. So Kim says, where do you learn more about this? Books, etc. And I mean, honestly, books are a good thing to do. There's podcasts.
There's so much information out there anymore.
There's just, honestly, just talking to more of your open-minded friends, just and see where the conversation takes you. And then it's funny how many synchronicities, is that the right word?
Yep.
Now I'm thinking about it, I'm saying it wrong. Right. Synchronicities come about when you just kind of let things flow. Yep. But just because you'll read a book about something, and then you'll see something on the TV, or your friend will mention something, or something, and so it all starts tying in together. So you just kind of, just go with the flow. Yeah. Almost.
And I try on my website on transcendwellnessok.com. I have a reference. It's just a free resources page. I try to put a lot of books and documentaries and, alternative therapy, stuff like that on there so that people can get all the information in one spot. So if you want to check that out, there's some there. But I don't have anything specifically for what we're talking about now, the Akashic Records. But like she said, there's so many podcasts and things like that out there now and information. It's not hard to come across. Yeah. So.
And then Jennifer was saying, wish it wasn't so taboo, talking about death. Kim said exactly on death. So many amazing adventures to have.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, we're taught, I don't know why, the majority, but at a young age, we're taught to fear death. Yeah. And actually, you should welcome it because it's not the end like we've been taught that it is. Yeah. They actually say a lot of time, sometimes you decide you don't want to come back right away, right? So you stay in the ether, like just chilling, feeling good. And then there's other times you come literally from one to the next, like death being reborn. Yeah. Which is pretty trippy. I'm like, I would want a break, I think. I don't know. Oh, yeah. I guess it depends on which lifetime and what I was working on.
You know what? Speaking of that, like Coco, that's kind of a good movie for...
I love Coco.
For death and like kind of seeing...
Yes, okay. If you have kids...
It's really sweet.
Yes, if you have kids, you want to talk about death with them, Coco is a great animated movie. I don't know what I was saying.
It's okay.
For them to watch. And it talks about death and the afterlife and crossing over. It's like a really good movie.
Yeah, so that's a good one for kids. And then
it's so sweet.
It's since been canceled, but the OA on
OA
Netflix
is so good.
Is a really...
I'm sure you guys can still find it out there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think they took it off Netflix.
Oh, it's still on there? If it's still on there, go watch it before they take it off. Because they do take stuff off every now and then.
Well, they don't... Do they take off their originals, though?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, my God. No, I'm going to go check right now.
She's going to check.
I'm going to check. Because you can't even describe that show, but it's about a soul moving through different parallel dimensions,
which is what we were talking about earlier about alternate universes, parallel universes, things like that, which is quantum mechanics.
I gotta see now because I want to watch it again. It's still on there.
So go watch it.
There's 2 seasons.
Lucky said it too. OA is still there.
Sweet. Yes.
She also said I can recite Coco in my sleep.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it's a good movie.
Yes, it is a good movie. So yeah, right. Coco and the OA. And then Lorraine says, I have acted as a death doula with my reflexology and a birth doula. I have felt the heartbeat of a baby through the uterus reflex on the tip of my thumb. Oh,
that's crazy.
I love little baby heartbeats in utero. And then Lorraine says, Coast to Coast is a good source.
What is Coast to Coast, Lorraine?
Is it a show or a book or a podcast?
So that people watching this, if they
and then Rhonda says, love that show.
I think she's talking about the OA.
The OA, yeah.
Yeah.
See.
So
hi,
good.
Mom. I was watching.
Hi. That's awesome.
Let's see. Yeah, so Coast to Coast. We'll see what Lorraine says about that.
So another thing about, I'll just go real quick about the reading. Yeah. So when you're getting a reading, your Akashic record reading done, so basically the different things you can experience is connecting with your life purpose or your soul purpose. You can learn about past lives. Yeah. Oh, Lucky said the fountain is another really good one. I love that one too. That one's good. Okay, she said it. Lorraine said it's a website podcast. Okay,
so Coast to Coast.
If you guys want to check it out.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So you can learn about your past lives. You can ask specific questions. So if you want guidance on certain things, like I said, an Akashic record reading, you can come prepared with your questions and you can ask, or when they're doing the reading, you can ask then. And then you can connect with your Akashic guides or guides in general, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Because I do think we have guides. Yeah. A lot of people call them guardian angels, from a religious perspective, but I'm like, I think there's somebody watching us.
Yeah, I like to think of guides over angels just because I think there's so many different forms. I don't want to just narrow it down to just angels. Like I think there's
But I think angels get into conspiracy stuff. I think angels are just not what we envision as an angel. They're just visitors from the heavens.
Are you sure they're not like little short, chunky, half-naked babies with big wings?
I mean, I guess some could be.
Kidding.
But the original, let's see.
The OG angels?
The original angels, like the OA.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Synchronicity.
So the original term for like the original Bible translation was angelos, which translates to messenger.
Makes sense.
From the sky. Because there was another word.
So what she's saying is it could be aliens, right, is what she's saying.
I'm just saying.
That's where we're going.
I'm saying messengers from the sky is the original translation of angels in the Bible. And I like to bring up the Bible because when we talk about these things, it's not like, if you're a Christian, it's bad, or if you're a Muslim, it's bad. Like we're all one, and it's just good to get these perspectives. And Christianity happens to be a very popular belief system, and when we talk about the things we do, we're not saying like we don't think that's true. We just think it's just part of the truth and maybe translated differently. So
because you lose a lot of things in translation, and I will tell you that of all the different religions and things like that I've actually learned about, there's a lot of connecting things, but there's also a lot of things that get lost in translation between them.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I consider myself spiritual, or if I had to believe in a label, which I don't, but omniism, like all things, all religions are
I like that one.
Telling the same story, just translate a little bit differently. But if you actually look at the different religions, there's so many synchronicities. There's so many. But it's funny because also religion divides so many people. But if you got two people from different religions and actually set them down in the room and had them conversate, they're like, oh my gosh, or oh my Allah, this is very similar. It's very interesting.
There's
to me.
So many similarities.
What do you got?
Let's see. So they weren't as extensive as your notes. So basically, the Akashic Records compilation of all human events, every booger, every sneeze, every fart,
every orgasm. That too.
I know. We'll go with the fart. Anyways, there's no scientific evidence.
Yeah.
So our culture is very kind of obsessed with, if there's no evidence, even though evidence can be altered and all this stuff. So there's no official scientific evidence to say, I'm holding the Akashic Record in my hand, because it's not. It's
energy.
It's an indestructible tablet of light, which is something that H.P. Blavatsky, I don't know if that's a Russian name, when he was found the term Akasha, that's how he described it as. It can also be seen as the Book of Life, or a universal supercomputer system, which that makes sense. Yeah. And I think a lot of people could envision that. Like we have the internet. Just imagine the internet can see into the future. That's kind of what the Akashic Records would be. Like everything that ever happened, uncensored. Let's see.
No, I can't do that part of
that. Uncensored. A lot of stuff is censored now.
Yes. So much.
Let's see. And then it can be viewed as a portion of the divine mind, which when I read that, I was like, that's kind of like God, because for people that are Christians or other religious affiliations, God is a big part of their life. And so God knows everything. He knows past, present, and future. So why couldn't Akashic Records be part of the God mind, or a portion of the God mind?
It could be the same thing, just...
Exactly. And there's actually kind of reference to it in the Bible. I have my Bible with me, but
she's good at finding this stuff, guys.
I know. I have all kinds of marks in my Bible for aliens.
She's good at linking these two things together, because it's so many people relate. Yes, to that. So we're basically sewing the two worlds together, because they're one and the same.
Yeah, exactly.
People think they're divided. They're really not.
Yeah. And a lot of people like to reference the Bible, like, all the truth is in the Bible. I think there is truth in the Bible, and I've found certain things that align with these New Age belief systems. You just kind of have to dig to find them. So the Akashic Records, of course, it's not called that in the Bible, but if you read Exodus, I don't know if it's chapter, it's just Exodus 32:32. It's when the Israelites committed sin by worshiping a golden calf. Moses, he pleaded on their behalf to have his name stricken out of the book where everything was written. Actually, let me read the exact. The book where everything is written, which would be the Akashic Records. So, so my Bible says, "Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee out of thy book which thou hast written." So if God was to write a book, the divine mind, God keeping records, that would be the Akashic Records. So I was pretty fascinated by that. And then there's also Psalm 139. If I can read my terrible writing.
What is that word? I can't even help you
something there. David, something. God has written down everything past. So something with David. My writing is awful. Something with David. David is talking about how God has written down everything. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it is Psalm 139. So
if you guys want to look it up, there you go.
Yeah, so that could be possibly the Akashic Records mentioned in the Bible, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So is anyone watching, I mean, Lorraine said she has, but has anybody else ever had their Akashic Records read? Or are they wanting to do that? I'm just curious. Is that something you would want to do? I do it because I like learning as much as possible so that I can share that information with others, and I learn more about myself. Because there's so many layers.
The journey into the self is the journey outward to everything. That's how you experience the world, is through the self. And if you're not working on the self, you're not going to experience this world that we have to offer. You're going to be stuck under programming and like
you're going to be a
all
zombie.
this crap. Yeah, don't be a zombie.
Lucky said she is when she gets paid. Paid. Money. Lorraine said, I would like mine read. So I have, if anyone is interested, I have the information for the lady that did mine. If you want it, I can put it on here. I don't know if I'll put it, if you wanted to send me a message, because I don't know if I should put it on here, because then she blows up from all
right, but like, what the hell is all of this?
But, yeah. Like I said, I've wanted to for years. That's cool.
Yeah, me too. I just need to do it.
Yeah, you should do it.
I know, it'd be really cool. I'm fascinated. Because I know I'm not from here. Like, I'm here now, but I'm curious, like, is this my first time here on Earth? Like, or is this my 5th time? Like, I don't know. I'd be fascinated by all of that.
So, I know at least one lifetime. I mean, I come from Arcturus or Arcturian. I'm an Arcturian. That's my constellation or wherever I'm from.
That's cool. See, I don't even know that.
Cool. Which is also cool because they're known for healing for tapping, which I didn't know that, and that's one of the things that I do. Yeah, and
that's trippy.
It is.
Oh my god,
freaking trippy. Wow. Actually, when I found that out, I was like,
"You're like, holy shit,
pretty crazy." That makes sense. Rhonda said, "I would love to have it done. I bought a book that walks you through it." Yeah. So like I said, you guys don't have to have a reader do it. You can actually access it yourself. So what she's talking about, she has a book that walks her through how to do it. It's just a form of meditation. If you can get yourself deep enough to do that
and not fall asleep,
you have access to it. Yeah. It's fine. Don't judge yourself for falling asleep either.
I know, but I want to like remember. I'm always asleep. I sleep every night. I don't want to sleep during something like this.
But also know, just because your body is sleeping doesn't mean you are sleeping.
I know, but I want to be semi-conscious.
Your subconscious is always recording.
I know, but I want the conscious to be recording.
And Lorraine said, I am EFT also. Yeah, so I use faster EFT, and then I also do the NLP and things like that. But isn't that interesting? Title, Rhonda. I don't think. Oh yeah, she didn't share a book. So Rhonda, if you have the title of your book, that's what Lorraine's asking. If you want to put that in the comments, so that if somebody else wants to figure out how to read their Akashic Records, they can check that out.
Yeah.
And there's, like I said, there's meditations. There's all sorts of stuff like that for astral traveling too, like for people that want to do that.
There's so much you can do. Like if you just commit the time to learn it.
It is a muscle. It is a spiritual muscle, just like anything else. You're not going to just get it like that. You're going to have to practice. And the more you practice, the stronger and easier it gets. Just like for me, doing Reiki. I've been doing Reiki, I've said, for now over 5 years. And yeah, it worked at first, but from where it started to where it is now, like I don't even, like,
you're like 5 years down the road.
Yeah, I can literally just like the intention, Reiki. Okay, I'm sending Reiki. Like, it's that simple now.
Yeah.
Like, but that has taken me 5 years to get to that point.
Like a microwave, like beep beep.
Over, yes, exactly.
So the oven.
It's a Reiki for you.
Beep beep beep.
Done. Oh, that's funny. Lorraine said, I took a remote viewing class.
Oh,
so
that stuff trips me.
That's pretty cool. So what's funny is our government and stuff, a lot of them,
that's real.
They do those things.
I mean, not only do they spy on you through your phone and your smart TVs, now they could just
view
you taking a dump at the bathroom.
Like, who wants to do that, really, though?
Well, everyone's on their phone. That's where they learn their info.
There's what is his name? George Clooney. Men Who Stare at Goats or something like that. That's based off that, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. It was an older movie, but it's about remote viewing and things. Anyway.
I need to watch that.
So, like, different branches of government actually use that. I mean, this is not us just saying this, and I know it sounds crazy, but no, it's real, and you can look it up. There's plenty of information about it out there. People learn how to use these abilities to strengthen them to become almost like superhuman to do these things.
Yeah, Lorraine says the instructor made me nervous, so I haven't been back in a while. Oh, like bad nervous? Like he's like
got weird energy?
Maybe like not so
again
trustworthy.
Yeah. See, like you said, Men Who Stare at Goats.
Okay.
Yes, George and Goats.
George and Goats.
It's a real thing. I know it sounds stupid, but
I need to watch that movie.
It is real.
Because I remember that came out, and I think I was younger, and I was like,
oh, it's
weird. Like, that looks so dumb. It looks like a bunch of old guys
staring at goats. Yeah.
No.
But anyway, there's different projects, like Project Pegasus. What's the paperclip? Lorraine said Russian spy. I know Lorraine's probably gonna know what I'm talking about. Like Project Pegasus, Paperclip. There's different things where they astral travel.
These are real things. You can
the government official like
web search them.
And it was a lot of the kids. What oh my god, why is my mind going blank?
I don't know. Mine is too.
Lorraine knows where they're trained when they're when they're younger.
I'm just kidding.
Lorraine, you might know this. What is it called when they're working with the kids that are younger? There's a movie about it. Operation Paperclip. Yes. Okay, that's all right. Paperclip is when they brought Nazi scientists here. Okay. There is something that they... Yes, MK Ultra. Melissa, she got it. That's what I was like, somebody's going to say it. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay,
they
MK
brainwash
Ultra.
Kids.
But they teach them to do these things that we're talking about, and they can astral project to other places or remote view. Like, there's some crazy things about it.
And it's real, guys. It's real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Above Majestic. Oh, yeah, because... That's the David Wilcock and Corey Gooder.
That's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah, I finally watched it.
Was it good?
It was good.
I haven't seen it.
And I was like kind of, I don't want to say scared, but I will. I was kind of scared to watch it because there's a lot of like deep, dark shit that you don't realize is real, that is real.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure I was emotionally distanced from it when I watched it. And so I watched it and I did fine. And I was surprised how much I actually already knew the things that they were talking about.
Okay, so it wasn't like these revelations.
Right.
Oh, okay.
No, I had those moments. I've had those moments in the past where you're like, oh my God, that can't be real. And you're like, so it's like someone just shoved you down this rabbit hole and you're like, oh my God. You're just like falling infinitely.
Yeah, and that's where you get overwhelmed. So that's why I take things with a grain of salt.
So yeah, Above Majestic was good. And yeah, Corey Good was actually in that program and they have them... Like, they do things with, like, crystals and...
Yes, I'm telling you
and
guys.
And they can age-regress them. They can age-regress them.
I believe that.
Where they go and they, like, do this study, or they're, like, for, like, 20 years, and they age-regress them and put them back in time to where they first started.
I'm not surprised.
It sounds insane, but go watch Above Majestic. Start looking into these things because... Because truth is stranger than fiction.
Yes.
Like,
and it's hidden in plain sight a lot of the time.
Sight, yeah. And the movies that you watch, all these things, like, I love all the superhero movies, but, like, Black Panther was an amazing movie. All that tech that they have, that stuff is real.
That's real
Maybe
life.
not called the same thing, but that is possible.
Another favorite of mine is Doctor Strange. And he's literally doing, like, what I do when I'm doing Reiki.
We were watching that before I left tonight, and I was like, Doctor Strange!
Yes,
like, my kids were watching it, yeah.
Melissa, they put it right in her face.
Cloning is real. Yes. I think they clone a lot of celebrities because you know how they'll kind of start wigging out and acting crazy and they'll start looking different. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole Hollywood thing is kind of nuts.
And then some of them just have really bad facelifts.
Could be. But they could also be clones. Like, we never know.
That's true.
Like, it's real. It's real, you guys.
Well, there's a lot of playing God going on in the science world anyway, as far as, like, what scientists are even doing to make genetic specific babies now. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
The things that they're able to do. I'm like, that's like borderline. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to read the comments on your phone?
Yes.
We've had a couple.
I had a lot of comments.
I know. I tried to catch them while they were coming up. One was naming the book. Go down.
Oh, down. Okay.
Somebody named the book that we were talking about.
Not very shady.
Keep going down. It was right below this.
It wasn't that?
No.
Oh, okay. Operation Paperclip.
Oh, here it is. Oh. The book.
Infinity's Flower by Jack Alice
is
a novel about remote viewing.
Okay.
Huh. And Melissa says, they put it right in our faces. Cloning is real. Children are more open than adults. like watching ourselves.
Oh my God, that's great.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you. So like, go back and read the comments. All the like Operation Paperclip, MK Ultra, the videos probably tagging these words that we're talking about.
It probably is, and that's fine.
It's probably gonna start glitching out, and
we make it happen, and you can view it on our websites. That's what we do.
Just keep your mind open. Yeah. Just start looking and don't use the Google browser. They're really bad about censoring right now. So I use Ecosia. There's a browser called Brave.
What's the duck?
DuckDuckGo is really good. So use these to search for these different government programs for things. I mean, things about Akashic Records, Above Majestic, and Corey Corey Good and David Wilcock have a new movie out, or it's coming out, because they did Above Majestic. I don't remember what it is, but I need to watch it, and it's more about these types of things. And yeah, I mean,
plus if you guys have like, so there's Gaia, which is equivalent to like Netflix. It's like $10 a month. Yeah, but it's a streaming service, but it's like these kinds of like videos and documentaries and and shows and series.
There's another one called Collective Evolution. That's another streaming one. That's a good one. I like Collective. They also have a page.
Yep. Lots of information.
The stuff is out there. I mean, it talk about pyramids and like where the pyramids work, and there's a pyramid in the Grand Canyon with like Egyptian stuff, and you're like, what
and there's so many good podcasts out there too. We just need to share all those at some point.
Oh yeah. There's so much out there, and we're not afraid to talk about any of it.
So that's what we're here, holding the space.
That's right.
And we talk about these things that most people don't talk about. Yes. Why not? Just saying.
I know.
So what are some topics? I mean, we've got our running list, but also if you guys want other topics that you want us to cover, you can always comment on here or message us to like what you would like us to cover in the future or things that you might have more questions about. We are on, like I said, episode 28. So if you haven't seen our 27 previous episodes, you can go on either one of our websites and check them out. Yeah. The Higher Side Chats podcast. Okay, cool. Is that what's the one with, oh my gosh, what is her name? Jenna Marbles. She has a really good podcast, and they talk about this kind of stuff, like woke stuff.
Cool. Those are the best kind of podcasts.
There's so many. I really like the Goop podcast with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, what does she talk about?
All the alternative stuff. They just go and
I know she's like real into like,
and it's pretty awesome.
Because I think, didn't they give her all kinds of shit for saying like, she's like, you don't need sunscreen. Like, the sun is fine.
Yeah, probably.
Which I believe, like, sunscreen's chemicals, but... So,
there's also, like, Wellness Force podcast or something like a Wellness Force talk show. I can't remember what it's called.
There's a lot. There's a lot out there.
There's a lot of good ones.
So find the ones that you vibe with and you like the information, you like the people, and just learn. Just start asking. You don't have to agree with everything. Just start listening and thinking and putting your puzzle pieces together and asking questions and having conversations.
Yeah, because the whole point is, like we said, don't take everything that we say either. Don't just eat it all up. We're telling you these things because we want you to make decisions about it. We want you to take all this information that you've gathered and then make an appropriate decision. Yeah. Not one that's been forced upon you growing up or something that we say that influences you. We want you to take all perspectives and then make a powerful decision about how you actually view it or anything like that. Do you want to read those comments?
Oh, yeah.
There's several.
I put my phone down, sorry.
Just watched The Goop today. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's on Netflix right now, too. But there is a podcast, The Goop podcast. They talk about a lot of stuff.
And then, Lorraine says, remember the mom from E.T., D something? Yeah, I do remember. Oh, okay. She's a clairvoyant, friends with a friend from my area who is a Hollywood actress, and friends with D Wallace. That's it. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty neat. And then Melissa said William Ramsey podcast. So that's another one to check out.
Cool. Awesome. I need to check out this Goop one. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, the Goop's pretty awesome. Huh. I think that's all the comments now. I think
it's caught back up. Are we caught up? Good. Yep.
I didn't even check to see where we were at either.
What, on time?
Yep. Oh. We usually go right on time.
Oh, that's cool. I'm at like 9:21.
See, every
time.
I
know. It's almost
weird.
Right at about an hour.
Have y'all done plant medicine? No, we haven't.
We haven't. We've talked about it.
We've talked about it, but maybe
we love the plant medicine.
We love plant medicine.
Yeah, we do.
There's so much to it, really.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I use, oh my gosh, so many. I don't even have like pharmaceuticals in my house. I have all kinds of dried herbs and like CBD oils, and you know we're pro cannabis. Elderberries. You hear a lot about elderberries. So I have my own. I make my own elderberry stuff now, and it's really awesome. So yeah, we're all about that plant life. And I got some new land. I'm gonna be growing all the things, and I'll probably start doing videos on that, like how I make different things. I made my own jam. Following me, like my jam was a big thing.
Said going.
So good. Arnica, yes, arnica.
And then Melissa says she's going to Peru in 1 month. That's awesome.
Yeah, get the arnica.
So are you going to do the ayahuasca? Is that what you're going to do? I'm curious to know.
I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to go to Rhythmia. You're talking about like a group trip to Rhythmia? I'm not even joking.
I have a couple of people that were talking about that.
Yeah, I'm like, for real. Like Costa Rica. Yeah.
So there's also different things like, what's the other one? Cacao ceremonies, things like that.
Yeah.
Peyote.
Yeah.
There's so much plant medicine, you guys.
And
that's why I love
It's
Nako.
the original medicine. It's not alternative.
The OG medicine. Yeah, you're not going to have all...
Yeah.
Yes, with Scotty G. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Scotty G is awesome. He's a good guy, for sure. He's soul family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's lots of different things. That's why I like Nako a lot, because he sings about, you know, all the experiences he's had with plant medicine and, like, the trippy things he's experienced.
Yeah.
It's high vibe music.
Yeah.
Casa Galactica. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Jamie, what's her last name? It's, like, a really hard name to say. I know who you're talking about, Melissa.
I don't.
Well... I've had reading done with her before.
Yeah.
She used to live here. Yeah, she used to live here in Oklahoma. She moved to Peru, and now and I think she just got married, actually. Her and her husband have, they started ayahuasca retreats. And this has been a while now, but she originally was from here. She was
cool.
I think clairvoyant or medium. I can't remember which one. I don't know, but.
That's fun.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Doing plant medicine?
Yep.
Heck yeah.
So that's why it's going to be interesting to see, you know, with this awakening, how it's happening. You know, it started with cannabis, right? There's more science behind cannabis and how much it's actually helping people now, placing a lot of medicine and things like that. It's going to be interesting to see how that keeps going as far as progressing with other alternative, I say alternative medicines, but it's not. It's really just plant medicine.
Just a plant.
Like, there's a lot of things they've been doing with mushrooms in certain areas, like...
I've seen a lot about shrooms.
Yeah, they've been talking about the connection with that, with, I think it was depression, things like that, how it does something, whatever it activates in the brain. I don't know, because I've never done shrooms in my life, but there's something that it activates that helps bring people out of really deep depression and things like that.
Yeah.
Lorraine said, are you guys neighbors?
We are not.
We're not.
Sadly.
Nope, but we just hang out.
Yeah,
so.
we're in the same town, so yeah.
It's not a far drive, it's all highway.
We hang out a lot.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And we decided since Facebook took away our dual lives, we weren't going to stop doing Awaken.
I know,
so
we're like, we'll just
find
hang
another
out.
way. Yeah. We want to keep coming to you guys.
Yeah. Let's see. Jennifer says, I want to see mushrooms and MDMA used in it. What's MDMA?
So, if I'm correct, correct me if I'm wrong, Lucky, but that's equivalent to, like, it's not the same as ecstasy. It's like the different form of it, right? Or something like that. But anyway, whatever activates... Natural? No, it's chemicals, I think.
Okay.
I think.
I mean, the mushrooms are, but MDMA, I don't know.
They did. What did they do? What did we say?
Oh my God, I don't know.
That's they took
the dual life.
Yeah, they took that away like a month ago or a month and a half
with
ago
the split screen down the middle.
Yeah, they didn't want us. They thought that it was going to stop people from doing that. It doesn't. People do this, so they do their Zooms and they put it on there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the pure ingredient from MDMA. Oh, okay. From ecstasy. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
So it's not all the extra stuff that's in ecstasy.
So is the extra stuff the bad things in ecstasy? Okay.
So MDMA is the more pure form, is what she's saying.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But anyway, so yeah, it activates a lot of things. And they also say that when we die, hallucinogen. So they also say that when we die, even though our body shut down, like our heart will stop beating and things like that, our brain, our consciousness is still activated. And I believe it's DMT that it releases. And that's where a lot of people that have like the near-death experiences and stuff like that, that's what they're experiencing. They say it's because of all the DMT that's released into their brain. Like basically it's like your brain's having a super crazy trip.
Yeah.
Like to help with the help with the transition or whatever. So I think it's interesting. I've seen duels in the last few days, just yesterday.
Well, they took it from us.
Well, they do that. Sometimes they do take it from. They will take access for certain things from certain people and not others. So maybe
not surprised. Yeah. It's us.
Given
what I'm talking about, and we're gonna do it this way. So.
Or you could have seen, like I said, people doing the Zooms and then putting them there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, DMT. Yeah.
Cool.
So it's pretty interesting. That's all I got as far as the Akashic Records.
We covered a lot. We had a lot of comments too. This was really good. Yeah. Interactive. You guys rock.
Yeah. So if anybody does want to have an Akashic record reading, like I said, if you don't want to do it yourself, just let me know, and I can send you that woman's info if you're interested in it. pretty neat experience. You learn a lot about yourself, and like I said, you can ask specific questions, or you can just be open to receiving. Most of the time when I go to readings, I'm just open to receiving, because if I get too in my head about it, I might ask a question and it'll like, you know, kind of get away from the actual message I was supposed to get during the reading. So I like to just be open to receive whatever comes through that channel. Yeah. Usually for me, personally. And I've had lots of readings over the years, so. Yeah. That's all I got. She said I do. Okay. Melissa, if you'll send me a message, I will send you that person's info so that I can get that to you. So you can have a reading done. It's pretty cool. And then, so, like I said, she'll do the meditation and connect and all those, take notes, and then she'll go over with you. She can do it in person or over the phone if you don't, you know, live in the same areas or anything like that. And then you are allowed to ask questions while she's reviewing, you know, her notes and what she's going over with you and tapping back in. Yeah. Because she does it originally, takes the notes, and then when you have the meeting together or over the phone or whatever, she'll tap back in then, and then she's sharing with you real time. That way, if you have questions, she can answer while she's in there.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I'm excited to do this.
I know. It's pretty neat just to find out a lot of things about yourself that maybe you didn't know. So
it's fun to learn about yourself. Yeah. I mean, I think so. I'm sure some people are like, I don't want to know.
Some people, yeah.
But I do.
And that's
how we grow.
I just feel like you can't experience the world fully until you fully know yourself. Just like you can't love someone fully until you love yourself. So I think it's just accepting all aspects of you and integrating your shadow self, even, because a lot of us have a lot of negative things that we like to like shy away from, but really it's taking those things and embracing them.
Do the shadow work.
That gives you your power, instead of pretending it doesn't exist and just putting it in a closet or under a rug or whatever. I'm like, no, nothing to see here. Man behind the curtain.
Nothing there.
Yeah, like
nothing there.
Really, you take the power back when you face it, and it's like when you face your biggest fears, right? Sometimes you fear this thing so much, and then you do it, and then you're like, oh, that was it? And then you're just like, I was scared this whole time. All this time wasted.
All this stress.
For nothing. For what? And there's Ivan. So there we go. Like you said, yes, shadow work is just as important as light work. It really is. If anything, I truly believe it's more important, because hurt people hurt people. And the only way we can influence the world and help heal the world is to work on ourselves, because we can't control other people. Like, I can't control Morgan. The only thing I can control is myself. So if I go deeper in myself and work on myself, that's exuding out of me, and then whoever I'm around, that's going to flow over to them, and they're going to want to do those things instead of me trying to force someone to do that. So yes, I agree. I think it's important. And a lot of people don't like to do shadow work, because I'll tell you right now, it's fucking hard, but it's worth it, because you will have leaps and bounds and quantum shifts when you actually start doing the shadow work. I promise you.
Oh yeah.
Night and day difference. Like, you're gonna look back and you're not even gonna recognize who you are when you really go in there and do the shadow work, and you remove old programming and all the stuff, guys. It's literally, we talk about it a lot. It's the onion. It's the onion. Layers. That's life. Yeah. Because as soon as you uncover something else and heal it, that's usually when something else comes up that you didn't even know was there, because there was a layer on top of it before, so you couldn't even see it. Yep. Like you said, enlightenment is lighting the dark shadows. It is uncomfortable as hell. Yeah, it is.
But you gotta shine light on the darkness.
But here's the thing with uncomfortable. So most humans view uncomfortableness as like, I don't know if that's a word, uncomfortableness.
We make our own words. Yeah. It is a word.
Most humans view being uncomfortable as this negative thing. Yeah. To be uncomfortable is to be negative or whatever. Like, it's not
right. Like, you don't
want to seek it out. But the
truth, that's wrong. Like,
yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but the truth is, true growth comes when you get out of your comfort zone. And when you get out of your comfort zone, you get uncomfortable. But that's when the magic happens. I'm telling you, like, the thing you don't want to do, that's the fucking thing you need to do.
Do it.
Honestly, because that is the thing I promise you will change everything. Yeah. Once you do it. Yeah.
That's where you can heal a lot of generational traumas and curses, and you can actually heal your ancestral line by doing the shadow work that nobody else in your family or your ancestry has done. So so I kind of envision them like cheering you on, or like they're like,
all your ancestors,
you freed us from that.
You go,
you're so oh my god, like, so awesome, we love you, thank you. So do the shadow work.
Yeah, and then you unlock that. So the more you heal that, then it's for any future generation that is ever to come into your family or whatever. They don't have to worry about those things, because you've done the hard work of healing it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. So there's an interesting question. Do you know anything about blood sacrifices?
I do not.
The only thing...
She might be the expert here.
Oh, that sounds horrible. The way you said that. Not like that.
I mean, everybody knows.
No, I don't participate in that.
I'm just kidding.
So the little bit that I do know about that is that tends to be a very dark side of society and what I like to call the elite of the world, the people up in higher power, because blood is really powerful and the energy you get from that. So a lot of these people in power, a lot of people in Hollywood and government, they participate in these blood sacrifice rituals, which I'm not going to go into super detail here, but they tend to be on the darker side, and it's usually sacrificing an innocent and gaining power from that. So that is evil to me. That's like very dark.
Cult-like
Satanism, satanic rituals include a lot of blood sacrifice, and it's actually very common with our Hollywood and government people.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to go too much into that. There's more details that are just horrifying.
Yeah, I don't want to freak everybody out.
Right, I don't want to freak everyone out, but yeah, that's a little bit that I do know, and yeah. God damn it, Jennifer, yes.
What is
Adrenochrome.
I don't even know what that is. What is that? Let's talk about it.
Damn it, Jennifer, look what you made me do.
Look what you made me do.
Okay. So adrenochrome.
We're going there, guys.
Okay, it's really sad and really depressing, so guard your heart, put your energy bubbles around where the fuck you need to
She
do,
said
okay?
#flagged. Alright guys, it's about to get real. But you didn't put hats on because it's about to go down.
So adrenochrome is the blood of usually an innocent child that has been tortured to release certain chemicals in their blood that these people drink and release to get high off of them.
I didn't know that's what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's torturing a child, so they are so fearful they're releasing these chemicals into their blood, and then they're killed and sacrificed, and the people drink their blood to gain their energy from. So it's really horrifying and dark, and it's real. It happens a lot. Think of your favorite person in Hollywood, really famous. They probably do that. So that'll fuck you up, okay? Will fuck you up.
And we went there.
And we went there.
And Lucky said, I take accountability.
God damn it, Jennifer. I thought we were friends. I'm just kidding. We talk about everything on here. People need to know this shit. Yeah. This is the dark.
And if you don't believe that, that's okay. Here's the other thing with that. So this is where Morgan and I have views that may be different too, because just because it exists doesn't mean that's what I choose to focus on.
Right. You don't have to focus on. That's why I don't.
So she uses it as awareness. She knows.
Yeah.
She said going dark tonight.
I know. I'm like, so there's. We need to have an awareness. We need to shine light on the darkness. We don't need to live there.
Yes. Don't live in the fear.
Don't live in that. But so I keep the awareness there, but I don't focus on that a lot. Because you could tell just talking about it, like it upsets me because I'm a mother of children, and I'm just like I can't even begin to imagine that. So it's have the awareness, but don't live in there. Yeah. Don't live in that place.
Because where your energy, where your focus goes, your energy flows. Mm-hmm. So with anything, if you start feeling overwhelmed, don't focus on it. Like still be aware that it's there, but don't let it consume you. Is I guess what we're saying.
Yeah. So because there's all sorts of things that show up on my feed. Learning the things that I do. When I see something like that, I always come back to me. I'm like, okay, what can I do about this? Okay, I work on myself, and I love my kids, and my kids are with me.
This is important.
And my kids are protected, and they have a mom that knows this stuff. So I'm hyper aware of their surroundings, and they're not going to be involved in that, and I'm raising them to be really amazing human beings in the world, and they're going to help change it. So it always comes back to, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I can't do anything about that. But what I can do is work on me and speak my truth and connect with other people that are also doing shadow work and shining light on things. And we change the world by changing ourselves. because that's the only thing we can control.
100% mic drop on that one.
Yeah.
Read the comments they just said, because she just said something about.
Yeah.
Melissa just said something about it. Lucky said it ruffles the feathers, and then Melissa said, but other people don't know about the darkness. Right. I need to know.
I need to know.
And then Lucky said, yes, it's a shadow, which is what she does. I mean, she talks about these things. So, yes, she can only control herself and her family and all those things, but she also uses that knowledge to help others learn about those things. Yeah. Or be aware of those things, I guess.
Awareness will change everything. And these are the things people don't want to talk about. Those are
Which
the things
are like, we talk about it.
And that's why you can't not talk about it. Because if you don't talk about it, it won't be exposed, and it'll just keep going on and on for thousands of years. I mean, you could go back to biblical days with child sacrifice. This has been going on for fucking ever, and it needs to stop. Like, it's just horrendous. And so people need to learn about the horrific things so that we can stop it. Mm-hmm. That's the only way.
And the first step is awareness. Because once you have awareness to something, you can never have unawareness to it again.
That is true.
So,
which is why we have
she's like, I wish
we have plant medicine.
So we can relax the
okay.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
And friends you can talk to about these things.
Friends are not food. I'm just kidding.
Nemo. Oh, that's a happy movie.
Yeah. Movie. Made you laugh. That was good.
I did. So, we got Cheez-Its too, so I'll be fine.
And it is important because it goes back to everything she just said is literally what we were just talking about with shadow work. Yeah. You have to bring things to the light also to heal them, to change them. And like I said, that I know these things exist doesn't mean I don't acknowledge them. I have awareness to them. I just don't focus on that. But we have conversations about it.
We do, because you have to. You learn these things, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta talk about it, and get reassurance. Like, okay, it's fine. We are changing the world by changing ourselves, and it's all good stuff.
And that's why we started Awaken, even because we would have conversations like this all the time, and it's not enough for us just to have this conversation together. We decided that it needed to be a broader audience. Yeah. More people need to be talking about it because the fact that no one talks about it. So I'm just saying.
Melissa says, I have nobody to talk to about this stuff, so I'm in on your live.
So I'm on your live. That's why we created Awaken. Yeah. For this exact reason.
Yes. You need, I remember being in that place where I had nobody to talk to about these things. Same. And this was just basic stuff too. Same. Even questioning
chakras, crystal,
even
baby stuff.
What is God? God's
energy work?
Not a man. I mean,
he's definitely
the creator of everything isn't a man. Is not a white man with a beard
that looks like he just got out of.
No, because you need a man and a woman to create life. So at the most, it's a thing that encompasses both male and female.
Then that's how I view it. I view it as source, as energy,
and source. Even that's like baby talk now for us. But I had no one to talk to these things about, ask questions, because it was always like, oh, this is just the way it is, and you're like, why?
Yeah, or it's labeled blasphemy, or you get labeled all these stupid names because you're questioning. Right. Because so many
people going to hell.
So many people for so long have been so programmed just to accept what was and not to question. Yeah. And now the fact that consciousness has been changed and awareness and consciousness has been raised, the vibration's been raised, more people are questioning now more than ever. Yeah. That's what true awakening is that people are waking up to what's going on, and they're just like, we don't agree with this anymore. Yeah. So we start a new thought process, and we do that by having these conversations.
Just talk about it. Ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking a question. It's just mind-boggling.
You should always ask questions. Yeah. Ask questions all the time.
If you're not allowed to ask questions, there's something there, so you need to keep digging. Yep. Keep digging. And go find someone to ask questions to. Don't talk to that person anymore.
Just go next.
I'm just kidding. Just, don't.
Do you want to read the comments? We had a couple.
Yes. Let's see. On your live. Lorraine says, Rhonda Tintleman, title of
she was asking what that book
was. Oh, okay. And then she says, is God transgender? I don't know. I think God could be everything and anything.
And then she said gender free. So I
don't think God's a person. I think
it's an energy, and I believe it literally, because everything is energy, right? Yeah. I believe that God, source, whatever name you want to give it, because it doesn't matter, because that's just a label. It's all talking about the same thing. Yeah. To me, I'm going to speak in it in my terms. the energy, the source that is,
yeah,
encompasses both energies, feminine and masculine.
Right.
And it's not one or the other. It is very fluid, and it's able to switch between different things, and that's why different things represent different.
I mean, I even think, and I've had these talks with my kids, I'm like, so the creator of all things, of everything,
is a dude.
Well, it's just like, who says he wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna break myself apart and I'm gonna be Zeus and Athena and like all the, like, who says God couldn't multiply him or herself, itself, into multiple gods?
Which is what I believe. I believe that we are God or source or whatever word you want to use. And that's why I also love the story that I share all the time, The Egg by Andy Weir. It's like a 5-minute read, and it talks about those very things, that we are all, like, I am Morgan, she is me, we are the viewers. We're all experiencing ourselves at the same time, because time is not linear. Time it really is irrelevant, but we're all just learning and growing and expanding, and the more interactions we have with each other, the more we expand, and the universe is ever expanding.
We're all like puzzle pieces, and we connect. We add more things to the puzzle, because I can't know everything, so I rely on Ashton to know certain things, and
then I don't know
Jennifer
things that she knows.
to know certain things, and so
and
we
Lorraine,
come together, and we all were like, oh, hey, let me throw this in that
because
pot of truth over
here's
there.
why that's important, because collective consciousness, that's how the vibration raises. It's basically like there's this pool of consciousness sitting there. Yeah. And when we start questioning things as individuals, it puts these new thoughts up into the stream of consciousness, right? And then the more people that do that, the more access that is there in the collective consciousness for others to receive or tune into, really, is what it is. I mean, just tuning into
Akashic Records.
Yeah. Because it's like... I mean, they've done studies on this stuff. It works, like with monks meditating and stuff and having certain things. I've had this experience personally, and you probably have too. Have you ever had an idea for something like an invention or something you were going to make? You had the idea, but you didn't do anything with it. And it came through a couple times, but you never did anything with it. And then a little bit later, you saw that idea or thing.
Like, I thought of that.
Yes. And
it's like, why did I do that?
It's like, you did think about it, but you didn't do shit with it. Yeah. So
someone
here
else,
we are. Somebody else
is like, oh, bloop.
Yeah, because it's in collective consciousness. That's exactly right. Lucky said, I can't read it because my face is not. Here you go.
Source energy. I have been diving down the rabbit hole of sine and cosine waves, and it's blowing my mind. I have never heard about that. I don't know. Share a link or like.
Share so we can learn. We are learners here. So neither one of us know what that is.
Let's see, sine and cosine. Fuck, is that? Like math. Goddamn
math.
But that makes me think of numbers, like the Fibonacci spiral, and like sacred geometry.
How it's all connected.
It's all, so it probably has, and like then there's waves, like light waves.
And and all the
energy
things
waves
we can't see,
and sound waves, and
X-rays.
Yeah,
all the different things.
Akashic Records, algorithms, one and the same. I mean, I'm sure they're part of it. If Akashic Records are everything, then that stuff is in there too, and like how everything works.
That would make sense. And then, like you said, it's how trigonometry builds.
Okay, so like sacred geometry and things like that.
That makes sense.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see. Wilcox was talking about DNA wave that creates life. Oh yeah, I think I was listening to that in my book, The Synchronicity Key, today. Because it was, he was talking about there's an experiment out there where they had like a vial or a tub or whatever of like pure water, like nothing else water in there, and then another one with some DNA in it, and they ran some like sound waves through it, and DNA just appeared in the totally pure water. So like these waves of sound create DNA, like copies of DNA, just with sound really waves. Cool. And I was like, what? Holy shit. Yeah.
That is pretty awesome. I believe in stuff like that too, because, they do that with tuning forks. So you can strike a tuning fork over here, not even hit the other tuning fork, and it will automatically start vibrating that tuning fork across the room, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's awesome
Lucky
stuff
said,
out there.
I wish I'd had the passion for math in school that I've developed in my 30s.
Right?
They would have
taught cool stuff like this. We'd been interested.
I think I actually, and I've talked about this more recently, I think I was dyslexic in school because I used to switch numbers and letters, and I think I trained myself out of it. But when it came to math, I just...
Well, they don't make it fun.
No. I had straight A's except for math.
You're like, when am I going to use this? And we're like, what's Like you're literally made up of it.
Yes, synchronicity.
Yeah,
key.
book. Yeah, I'm only like
the book is mind blowing.
I'm doing it on Audible, so I can listen to it when I drive and stuff. I'm only maybe like an hour in. I'm just like, holy crap, this is awesome.
I like reading books, and so when I read a book, if I have a physical book, I'll highlight it. I'll read it multiple times.
If you're listening,
if I listen it, I'll take notes. Yeah. And the reason I do that is because your brain remembers more things. Mm-hmm. So like I do that in any training I go to too. So I'm physically doing it, I'm listening to it, and then I'm also writing it down so that my brain is getting it. Like I'm making sure I'm getting all the things in my subconscious. Yeah. And even then, when I read books all the time, I'm getting a different perspective every time. So I'm just gaining a lot more knowledge about it.
You can read a book more than once.
Yeah, which is funny.
Novel thought.
I know most people are like, oh, I read that book and that's it. I'm like, no, you should probably read it like forever because you're gonna get something different from it every time. Yeah. Because again, once you have awareness of something, you don't ever have. Or you don't ever not have awareness. Yeah, you don't ever have unawareness to it. That sounds better. We're making it a word if it's not. So once you have awareness of something, you never have unawareness to it, right? So therefore, the next time you read a book, you're reading it in a different space than you were the first time you read it because you already have some awareness of the knowledge that you read the first time. Yeah. So now your brain's not looking for that. Now you're looking for new things. So then you're just collecting more and more. Because
you're not going to get 100% of that book.
There's no way you can retain 100% ever.
You can't. So reading it again, you're just going to be like, oh, I remember that, but now it's like, now I get it.
Ingrains it
now
more.
It's stuck in my head.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a good book. I love it. It's awesome.
I also like Dr. Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. That's a really good book.
I haven't read that one. That's on my list.
And then if you guys are just joining also, if you want to join Morgan and I and some other viewers, I know we talked about this 2 lives ago? Mm-hmm. This is the book we're rereading right now, The Emotion Code. I think it might be backwards to you guys, but by Dr. Bradley Nelson.
Jennifer says I retain 100% of it.
That's also because you've seen it over and over.
You didn't watch it just once.
Yeah. So anyways, you guys should get this book because this book will blow your mind and it will help heal and release a lot of things. It's very similar to what I do in my sessions, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it'll blow your mind, so you guys should check it out. And we have a couple of viewers that got the book and that are reading along with us, and we're gonna do some testing on each other. I don't know if we could do a live or something on it sometime. Maybe.
I know. Well, because we had talked about. So there's a way you can do like remote.
Lucky said 9,468 times. That's it. That's as many times as you've seen them.
You need to get to 10,000. Yeah. It out. Come on.
Slacker, come on.
It's embarrassing. But anyway, so emotion code. We're trying to figure out like, do we do it like on each other, or do we use one of us as like a remote to connect to one of you? Because you can do that.
Yeah, you can do surrogate. Is what
surrogate. That's right. Yeah. So there's a lot we can do with that. So
anybody want to be a test subject?
You can also do it on yourself too. Like if you read it, you can do your different muscle testing things.
Yeah, so I use muscle testing a lot. There's a lot of things that you can use it for. You can actually. So when I first learned of muscle testing was years ago. I want to say 4 to 5 years ago is when I first learned about it. Lucky said I volunteer. All right, let's get Lucky on here and do it.
Let's do it.
So I first heard of muscle testing years ago when I first started exploring Chinese medicine. So I was going to an acupuncturist and I was finding out that I was actually allergic to all these things, all these foods that I was eating. So there's a treatment called NAET treatment that you can do. It's equivalent to an allergy test, but it does not require all the needles. It literally is muscle testing.
So I know. It's trippy. And
I've had it, So you can do it for foods. You can do it for outdoor pollutants and trees.
Airborne.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I actually found out, so by muscle testing, I was allergic to a lot of foods that I was eating. And that's why my body was reacting that way, because it was causing inflammation in my body, which totally makes sense when you know a lot about the mind, body, and things like that.
Yeah. And the gut. The gut is big.
Yes, the gut.
The gut has third brain, isn't it? Or second?
It's like your second brain. I think it's the first brain, really.
What's the third? Don't they say the heart is another brain too?
Probably.
So it's like your brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But the gut, what she's talking about, it has a lot to do with your emotions too. Like a lot of people that tend to suffer from depression and things like that, their gut microbiome and stuff like that is off. So it's good to learn about those things.
Everybody's off.
Seriously, if you think about the shit that we eat or the things that we inhale, there's just
the
so
chemicals.
Much there.
Stop using chemicals to clean your house.
Yeah, I use all plant-based
scented
things.
candles. Get rid of that shit.
Yep. Even
aerosols, Febreze, get rid of that.
Perfumes, colognes, if it's not natural, get rid of that
Even
shit.
soaps, shampoos,
detergents.
Yeah, like dish soap.
Yeah,
everything.
People don't really realize how many chemicals they're putting in their body per day just by the things they're using.
Yeah.
It's not just this woo, we're trying to be organic and natural. Like, there's a reason people are going that way, and it's because of the chemicals they're putting in their body. Oh, deodorant. Did you say deodorant?
I didn't say deodorant.
So, I use a salt stick. I don't really sweat a whole lot, but I use, it's just salt.
I've tried, so it's salt, not a crystal?
Mm-hmm.
Not the crystal stick?
There might be crystal sticks, too, but the one I use specifically is salt. What it is. But there's different ones you can use, because for me... So I have the MTHFR gene mutation, which I found out a year and a half ago. Yeah, they just
doesn't mean use that.
Yeah,
my kids have it too. Yeah. It causes your body doesn't process,
eliminate toxins and things like that. So I had to be very purposeful of what I put on or in my body. And for me, that was one of the things. Even deodorant. So. Yeah. When you have that, not only do you have a hard time releasing toxins from your body, you have a hard time removing heavy metals from your body.
Yeah,
so that's why
a lot of deodorant have aluminum.
That's why, and that's exactly why I used to use Guys deodorant and all this stuff, and then a lot of the ones I was using had the aluminum in it, and then that's why a lot of women also can develop breast cancer, because of where it's at. These different lymph nodes and things like that are there. They collect, and it goes over to the breast tissue and the inflammation and. You just need to be aware. I know there's a lot of information there to take, but this has been years of learning all these things that I'm lucky enough that I explored and asked questions, because who knows where I could have went as far as my health if I had not had figured that out. Yeah. And then you also, if you have it, you can't absorb vitamin B, B12.
Yeah, you have to get the methylated
folate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I take that every day, and it's crazy. You know, like I said, I've been taking that almost 2 years now, and the difference my body feels like since I started taking it, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. Because I felt like shit before, so I didn't know what it felt like to feel normal.
Like, here you go, body. Take this thing.
Yeah, because I thought I'd had this for several years, like the symptoms, but I never actually got tested for it. Yeah. Which there's a blood test you can do for it, and there's also just a cotton swab in your mouth.
Cheek swab. Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you have kids, you don't want to get their blood drawn.
Exactly.
It's like cheek swab.
So, and I found out I'm the lucky one, and I have double copies of it from both my parents, so that's great. Yay. The thing with that, though, so let's just talk about this, because I know this is something you talk about. We won't go too far into it, because I know it's the rabbit hole, and there's some people that are...
There's so many rabbit holes.
I know.
We just jump
So, here's the thing. I think we were talking about it when I first found out that I had it, and I was telling you about it, but the reason also... It's important to know this, especially if you have children, especially if you have babies, like young children. When we talk about vaccines, it's not the vaccines.
Oh, we just got flagged.
Yep. I knew it was coming. So the vaccines themselves, it's not necessarily that all vaccines are bad. I'm not saying that, but it is the amount in which they do and how close together they have and the ingredients that are in there. So if someone like me,
the ingredients.
If I was a kid today, and I had to get the amount of vaccines as close together as they do now, with the heavy metals and things that are in it, I would have a higher chance of becoming an autistic kid. Because my body would not be able to process out. You have to remember that. This tiny little body, and then if you add on top of that, you know, a gene mutation or whatever, that's what causes the issues, is their little bodies can't handle, they can't get it out, and that's the problem.
Here's the thing.
Let's drop it. Let's go.
So, you know, we'll just say V. The V word.
The V. I mean, to me, that could be some other things.
Oh my god, you perv. Just kidding. Okay, we'll call them shots. Vaccines, whatever the fuck. So, obviously read ingredients.
Yep.
And if you're going to give your kid Tylenol, okay? Let's say we don't do Tylenol. I mean, there's a whole thing. But just for example, Tylenol. Right. You have a child dosage and an adult dosage. Right? You're not going to give your baby like the adult dosage. But with vaccines, they're all the same. So you're giving a little 7-8 pound baby the same amount you'd give a 200-pound adult. There are not child-size vaccines.
And take into account, like I said, if they have any of these genetic mutations that we talked about. Like what I had.
That's going to make it so much worse, because their body can't process those ingredients.
Like, even if I was to get the flu shot, not that I recommend doing that, and I don't do that at all. I have not done that since I think middle school was the last flu shot I had. But I'm just saying, even things like that, had I not been aware to this mutation that I have, the MTHFR gene mutation, that could have caused me even issues as an adult. So it makes me think, how many adults are walking around with that go get the flu shot every year? Like my dad. My dad gets it every year, and he gets sick every year. And I'm like, quit taking the fucking shot.
Yeah.
but he doesn't listen, you know? And it's just like, and I know my dad, because I have a double copy, he probably has this gene mutation. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop it.
I know.
But it's just like, how many people are walking around that have that? So I would suggest, if you think you have that and you want to look it up, the symptoms, things like that, it's MTHFR gene mutation.
We call it
the motherfucker. That's what they call it, really.
Because that's what the abbreviation, well, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
It looks like an abbreviation.
Yeah. So you can look it up, and like I said, if you talk to your doctor or whoever, you can get a cotton swab in the mouth. That's as simple as it is. Or if you're already having blood work, which I was that day, I just had a blood test done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, and Jennifer says, or a 3-pound preemie baby. Yep.
Yeah, the same thing.
Same fucking
thing.
Autistic
or baby. Dead. Oh, and I'm going to read this real quick, and then I'll read what she said about the MTHFR. The other thing about autism also, I just want you to know, a lot of things like that, because a lot of them do have, like I said, that gene mutation or thing like that, and they can't eliminate toxins and things like that, there's been a lot of improvement, and I'm just sharing this, so if you know anybody that has autistic kid, or you do, or anything like that, just information for you, take this little nugget, run with it, learn more about it. But even changing their diet to certain things that helps their body detox makes a world of difference, and they start improving. Like kids that weren't even speaking are now able to speak. Yet, like you said, detox, and the foods that they're eating.
Because the gut health.
Yes.
Like so much happens in the gut, and
a lot of the autistic kids have gut problems. So that's why I'm sharing this.
What did I read? I've read so much. I can't ever remember where it is or what it was, but that a lot of autistic kids have the measles virus in their gut. Like there's measles in their gut because the MMR vaccine is typically what sets it off. So there's a lot of measles. I don't know how it works scientifically, but detoxing is huge because you're detoxing all that crap that's been stored in your body, and it's really, really important. And then you got to watch out for artificial dyes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Red 40. Oh my god, that's so.
Oh my god, that's the one that.
Have you seen the celery experiment?
Yes,
with the red.
That's the one that made my brother. My brother, as a kid, could not have that red dye. He would turn into the devil child. I swear to God, you can ask my mom. Like I don't know what it was that it did with his body, but he would react to that dye. Anything that had that dye,
and it's still legal. It's still in foods.
Yeah. So, but there are certain diets that you can look up if you, like I said, have an autistic child or know someone with an autistic child. There's the detoxes, and then their actual diet. There's actual diet plans to follow. Yeah. Specifically for people who have autism. Yeah. And then like you said, they suspect 40 to 70% have a variant MTHFR. I would not be surprised.
That's why it's kind of like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
With vaccines, you're like, well, or that. Those of us that are aware of this going on, you know, if you're lucky enough to have a kid that has not had a reaction, that was basically a coin toss.
So talk about your kids then. You have 3 boys.
Yeah.
The oldest one, you got his vaccines, right?
He was partially because we were kind of on the fence. We're like, well, we still think they're kind of good and beneficial, but also we kind of think they're bad, and we don't know what's going to happen. So we did an alternate schedule. And he started developing. All this is hindsight, okay? Because these things were happening at the time, and I thought like our doctors said it was fine, like dermatologist said it was fine, and you know, luckily we ran into a new chiropractor who was like, "Hey, read this book, ask me questions," and we changed our thing from there. But all this was hindsight. He started getting eczema. His speech was delayed. He would kind of have these little spasms almost that I was told were normal, and a few other things I can't recall right now, but I know, like, in my mommy heart, in my mommy gut, had we continued on with them, we didn't do the MMR. That's the one that typically kind of throws them over the edge. We didn't do that. I just know. And people say moms are crazy. You can't really know. I know that would have done something. And then my other 2, they have had none. They're so healthy. My first, he had a chronic cough for a while too that just never went away. He's so much better now because we have been detoxing him, and we're more aware of our diet. And he's doing so much better, but he's sick longer than his brothers are.
So then the next thing I was going to ask you. You got them all tested for that MTHFR, right?
Yes. They all have one variant of it. And I don't have it, so they got it from Dad.
So that means, like, what she's saying, if she would have continued with the vaccine,
to it,
he would have had a higher reaction. But for her younger two, they didn't have it, so they didn't have to worry about it. But.
And there are even, it's weird, they have some physical signs, like they have the, I'd have to find the article on it, but they'll have like a little, I forget what it's called, it looks like a little bruise almost, like like on their forehead, and there's like a little extra dimple kind of, like on like their lower back, kind of like right where the butt crack starts, there's like an extra dimple there. Those are signs that they have that MTHFR, and so they have those things, and it's
so just be aware. We're just sharing this
a little eye opening, and
so that you guys can look for
it's
these
just education. Just ask questions,
learn more
look for these things, because
sacral dimples.
Yes,
is what she called
that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. Lucky also said chlorophyll or spirulina
Yeah.
is a good gentle tool. She's talking about for detoxing for those of you who want it. And then she said Anthony Williams has great resources for detox as well. So Anthony Williams is awesome. He is known also as the medical medium, and he has books out that you guys can learn.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about different foods, how they're linked to healing different parts of the body, or like she said, the detoxing. Like he has 4 or 5 books now, like for different things. Like there's the liver detox or the liver cleanse one. There's just different ones, so they're all really good. I have like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, because what you put in your body will affect so much.
Lucky said Bodhi, so her son has all the physical characteristics, and that's how I knew. So did you get him tested, Lucky, or did you just know those things and that's how you knew? I'm just curious if you actually got him tested or not for the MTHFR gene mutation. Curious if you want to share.
I think she said he did, because she said, maybe that was just us talking, but I thought she said, oh yeah, he has 2 variants.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she would have had to have the test.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like me. Yeah. But that's good though that you know that, and he's so young and you figure that out. I mean, it took me till I was 28, 29 years old to figure that out.
30 years down the road in life.
Yeah, so it's like, God, no, what I could have felt good so long ago, and I would have known.
The doctor thought she was nuts.
Yep, and you were right. I'm telling you, mother gut is always
Mama
right.
gut.
You know,
Mama gut.
that connection.
Knows. That's intuition, which is very powerful.
Which we talked about last episode. So if you missed episode 27, go back and watch it. We talked about intuition.
Yeah. So listen to it. Even if your doctor thinks you're crazy,
even
if your friend or family thinks you're crazy,
my ex-wife thought that.
Yeah.
When I was going through my illness, along with the doctors, I literally had everyone telling me I was crazy, and it was in my head.
Yeah. And it's not. It's real.
Yeah.
So
even with my throat and all the things that was going on like that, the reason I found it is because the chiropractor I started going to was one of the only ones that I could find in the state of Oklahoma that does applied kinesiology, which is the muscle testing. She just barely muscle tested my throat, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And then she was like, "Have you had like a traumatic sports injury or been hit in the throat?" And I'm like, "Not that I know of." And and I was like, "Well, basically, what I ended up finding out. Long story short, guys." You have this piece of cartilage that sits right here. It's actually called your hyoid bone, but it's not bone, it's cartilage. And it sits here, so when you go to swallow, it's what pushes your tongue and everything down to push the food down your throat. So when she muscle tested mine, because I was not able to eat solid food for almost 2 years. I was on a liquid diet, got down to 90 pounds.
That sounds awful.
It was horrible. And I had people telling me I was crazy. Just eat something, you're fine. And I was like, no, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So I found this chiropractor, and I listened to my gut, even though I literally had everyone telling me I was crazy, and it was in my head. And I ended up being right, and she found it, and she adjusted, put it right back where it's supposed to be. And this has taken me almost 3 years now of therapy, because ligaments, from being 2 years out of place, ligaments and muscles and everything not holding where it's supposed to be, had to be put back in place over and over and over until it starts healing where it's supposed to be, to where it is now, where it actually holds. But I mean, had I not found that person and listened to my intuition,
don't let people tell you you're crazy when you know that you're not. Even
and
if they're close to you. That's the hard part, is
it caused many fights. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, you have to stick up for yourself and your kids.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say much about
that. I know, but that's just just
I'll
for
stick
yourself
up for my fur kid.
That's right.
I don't let anybody tell me there's nothing wrong with him when something's wrong with him. So. All right,
man, we touched on a lot tonight.
Yeah. What time is it? I didn't even look.
Let's see. close it out. Oh, dang, 10 o'clock.
Look at that.
10:06.
You guys hung with us this whole time. You guys are partiers.
This was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I like how we went from Akashic and we just dove down and went all
we probably
around
got
the
flagged
waves.
so many times. We're going to take away live completely.
Oh, God.
Damn it.
We'll have to, like, if they take away our live ability at some point, we'll figure out a way. I mean, you guys might have to subscribe.
Might be on YouTube.
Yeah, or we've talked about
setting up. Facebook and YouTube are like.
Well, we've talked about setting up our Patreon and stuff like that too. Yeah, so we do that you guys will find us if we ever.
We're not going away.
To not.
We will wormhole the shit out of this. It's fine. Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining. Yes. We are really appreciative that you guys were on here and interactive all night. We hope you enjoyed the things that we talked about. And like we said, if there's anything you ever want to see in the future episodes, just message us, put in the comments, and we will go ahead and put it on our rolling list because we switch off every week when we're choosing which topic to cover today, which is why we chose this. Yeah. Lucky said, I'm glad I caught one. Me too, Lucky. Too. So we're live every other Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah. So since we were live this Wednesday, we will not be live next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. And you guys, if you follow us, I mean, we post about it the day of, and just remind people anyway. Lorraine says, love you long time.
Love you long time too.
Thank you for all your stuff, Lorraine. That was good stuff. And all you guys sharing at the beginning, all your links with each other, we appreciate that because that's why we've created this. And then also on the top of this video, I put the link to our group, AWAKEN Vlogcast Community. So if you're a viewer and you like interacting with these people in the lives, we created a group so you guys can even interact in the groups. So maybe if you're not friends on Facebook or whatever, you can still interact and have those people to talk to you or us to talk to you even when we're not doing the lives. That was the purpose for that. And we also like to send, you know, the links or info or whatever we usually put them in there also. So
absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. We will see you guys on the next AWAKEN Vlogcast, and I hope you guys have a great night. Bye guys.